Ladies and gentlemen, hello and you are watching TTV News, some latest events in the province. And now come to details. Ladies and gentlemen, since the merger, the number of businesses in the province has increased, reaching nearly 26,000. In recent times, the province has paid attention to and created favorable conditions for enterprise to invest locally.
Accordingly, the province has focused on administrative reform and improving the investment and business environment. The Provincial People's Council issued a resolution on referential policies, including land lease exemption for projects that use land for production and business in sectors eligible for investment incentives. The projects that meet the specific time scale criteria, socialization standard, or are non-fetch in nature, the province has successfully built investor confidence. It also promotes industrial promotion activities to encourage production facilities, to innovate technology and apply modern machinery and equipment in production. Additionally, it has increased support for businesses in developing e-commerce, expanding logistics services, and boosting export market expansion.
Starting in July, the maximum time to issue a land use right certificate is reduced to just 3 working days. This is the key change under the Government Decree No. 151, which officially took effect and significantly delegates land administration authority to the commune level. Accordingly, the commune level People's Committees will directly handle 14 administrative procedures related to land, and notably they are now responsible for initial land registration and certificates issuance for individuals, households, and communities, and this change shortened the processing time. Land registration is no more than 17 working days, and certificates issuance is no more than 3. The citizens no longer need to provide separate confirmation for land planning disputes or land origin. Additionally, both individuals and businesses can choose any location within the province to submit their applications, streamlining the process.
To implement Resolution No. 66 of the Politburo on legal reform, the province is promoting a culture of legal compliance and strengthening the rule of law by lawless linking legislation and enforcement.
The work of lawmaking and enforcement is identified as the breakthrough of on breakthroughs in institutional reform. The province has recently focused on raising legal awareness among officials and the public, ensuring the principle of upholding the Constitution and the rule of law. Legal documents are increasingly aligned with real-worldness and stepped by grassroots input to improve visibility. Laws must be clearly communicated so that people can understand and follow them based on the principle that people know, discuss, do, and supervise. Authorities at all sectors are also reviewing and revising legal documents to remove overlaps while improving the quality and discipline of legal officers to ensure consistent law enforcement.
The audience, after nearly a week of implementing the 2-level local government model, the Public Administrative Service Center at the commune and world levels in the province have basically operated stably and effectively. The reception and resolution of administrative procedure for citizens have been timely and quick, helping to create enthusiasm, trust, and consensus among the people.
Worrying about possible issues during the new model's operation, Mr. Võ Văn Hùng, a resident of Long An Ward, proactively visited Long An Ward Public Administrative Service Center to renew his land use right certificate. Upon arriving, he felt reassured and confident thanks to the smooth and stable working environment. Instead of waiting for outdated information, I came early to avoid delays and coordinated better, and the staff were normal, friendly, processing documents smoothly, and whenever I didn't understand something, I asked, and it were as usual before, so it felt reasonable and appropriate. I came here to apply for a judicial record, and when I wasn't sure how to fill in their unit, the staff kindly corrected and supported me, and the process was very quick and smooth, and I feel very satisfied. We are improving infrastructure and the information system connected to the national portal, and we will complete it to ensure smooth service for citizens, both at the Bristol Center and the Commune Work Centers in TayNinhTV also. Previously, TayNinhTV leaders and the Bristol Youth Committee Task Force visited many commune and work service centers to assess operations, quickly identifying rising issues and propose solutions to ensure the centers run effectively and efficiently.
In the first 6 months of 2025, TayNinh's average consumer price index, or CPI, increased by over 1% compared to the same period last year. This rise mainly comes from price increases in essential goods and services. The healthcare and medical services sector saw the highest rise, nearly 13%, due to the medical fees at resolution number 89, issued by the former Long An province implemented since January. Other goods and services also increased by over 8%, affected by higher health insurance costs and rising domestic growth rates. Under the CPI increase remains controlled, price changes in public services and global market factors continue to impact household spending. Authorities will continue monitoring prices to stabilize costs and protect social welfare.
And TayNinhTV province currently has around 62,000 hectares of cassava cultivation and making it the second largest in Vietnam after July. And according to the Department of Agriculture and Environment, to improve the disease resistance and starch quality, the province has introduced 6 mosaic-resistant cassava varieties, including SN1, SN3, SN5, SN36, SN80, and SN97. And these varieties yield for 35 to 40 tons per hectare, and TayNinhTV also has 64 cassava processing factories and over 45% of the national total, with a combined capacity for 6.4 million tons per year, and this includes 6 modified starch factories and 2 malt production plants. And following the administrative merger, TayNinhTV province now has nearly 92,650 hectares of forest and the forest development land, including natural forest, protection forest, and production forest. And the forest law violations have declined in both number and sovereignty, and the province continues to strengthen wildfire prevention under the 4 on the spot principle. The several policies and programs on the forest protection and development have been effectively implemented to respond to climate change, reduce the natural disaster impacts, and conserve the biodiversity, and also protect the forest environment. And the forest environment service payment policy has rated income shortages for individual households and organizations involved in the forest protection, contributing to improve the forest production and conservation outcomes. And TayNinhTV has also launched programs to conserve endangered wildlife and protected plant and animal species, while tightening the control over the illegal hunting, trolling, and captive breeding of rare species.
The audience when TayNinhTV province officially began operating, many official and public employees had to change workplace, traveling tens or even hundreds of kilometers. What's admirable is that instead of complaints or hesitation, they show a willingness to dedicate themselves despite longer and more challenging journeys.
For over 10 years, Mr. Sun Rung, an editor at TayNinhTV newspaper, radio and television, commuted just over 5 kilometers. Based from Tulefers with the administrative reorganization, his workplace is now 20 times farther. Without hesitation, he set off with the spirit of youth, courage, enthusiasm, and openness to change. As a young person and party member, I'm always ready whenever the organization assigns me duties. Even if it means being far from home or facing difficulties, I try to overcome them and do my best. Unlike Mr. Rung, Miss Nguyễn Thị Thanh Thùy, a staff member at the museum and mother of 2 school-age children, face every concern. Being far from home means they must rearrange family life. When I'm away on the household course and children's schooling must be handed over to my husband. For a man, this is very difficult because he is both the main breadwinner and responsible for the family. However, to contribute to museum preservation, my colleagues and I do our best to fulfill our task. What gives Miss Thuy strength is her family's full support, especially her husband, who is always ready to be a strong backbone and take care of everything at home. When I learned my wife would work elsewhere, I told her to focus her job and that I would handle everything at home. Although the journey is long, Mr. Vương, Miss Thuy, and many others are willing to be far from home but close to responsibility. Above all, family support is their solid foundation, fueling their dedication and belief in positive change. Known as a land rich in distinctive cultural identity, the newly merged TayNinhTV province now has 14 intangible cultural heritage items officially recognized. In recent years, the province has implemented a policy to leverage these recognized intangible cultural heritage for tourism development. Among the most notable are Trăng the Wetic Rice Paper Wraps Festival, held biannually, and the TayNinhTV Vegetarian Cuisine Arts Festival, held for the first time. Both large-scale events representing breakthrough efforts by the province in attracting tourism and investment. In addition, the province frequently organizes performances of heritage arts such as Thai drum dance and Southern Dengka theater at cultural events, festivals, and tourist destinations. The activities aim to promote and introduce TayNinh's culture, people, and image to both domestic and international visitors.
New for some domestic news, the Orient shortly after arriving in Rio de Janeiro to begin attending the expanded BRICS summit and bilateral activities in Brazil. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính and his spouse led flowers at the Memorial Lacquer honoring President Ho Chi Minh in the city of Rio de Janeiro, a place where he worked during his journey to fight the path to the nation's salvation.
Laying flowers in honor of the president in a place halfway around the world from the homeland, the Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính was moved as he once again stood before a historical marker commemorating the life and revolutionary career of the President Ho Chi Minh. He also expressed deep appreciation for the affection shown by the people and nation of Brazil towards the President Ho Chi Minh and toward Vietnam. The Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính expressed his belief that, building on the strong ties between the two nations, forged through the shared struggle for the national independence and development, the current and the future generation of both countries will continue to uphold the values and legacy left by the right President Ho Chi Minh and the previous generations. He affirmed the determination to further elevate the Vietnam-Brazil relations to new heights for peace, cooperation, and development, and for the prosperity and happiness of the people in both countries, in every region and around the world, just as the President Ho Chi Minh has always hoped during his lifetime.
On the same day, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính held an important meeting with President of Brazil, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. The two leaders agreed to continue coordinating the implementation of measures to strengthen bilateral relations in line with the strategic partnership framework. This includes maintaining regular high-level contacts and exchanges, enhancing political trust, effectively implementing key agreements already reached, and promoting cooperation in national defense and security, technology transfer, science and technology collaboration, development of high-quality human resources, mineral exploitation and trade, ethanol and biomass energy, digital transformation, semiconductors and artificial intelligence, and judicial cooperation. Immediately after the talks, the Prime Minister and the President of Brazil witnessed the signing ceremony of a memorandum of understanding on cooperation in science and technology, innovation and digital transformation. The announcement of Vietnam's first export shipment of pangasius and tilapia fish to Brazil, and the announcement of Brazil's first export shipment of beef to Vietnam.
Ladies and gentlemen, although cooperatives are considered key pillars driving the country's economic development, they still face challenges in accessing capital. In most cooperatives struggle to obtain credit.
Gogong Agricultural Cooperative in Vinton Camille is a pioneer in value chain linkage, focusing on the benefits of producers. With 120 members and over 564 hectares of production land, it was chosen by the province to lead the 1 million hectares of high-quality rice project. However, like many others, capital remains a major barrier. Currently, farmers' organizations participating in projects rely on their own capital and efforts without loans from credit institutions. The staff-funded capital is limited, while the demand for investment in equipment and mechanization still requires more funding. There are over 460 cooperatives across the province in various sectors, but must face difficulties accessing preferential credit policies. I hope the government will support effective cooperatives by allowing them to borrow capital for further development. As agriculture steps towards sustainability, resolving capital access issues will be an important boost for cooperatives to improve competitiveness, deepen value chain participation, and help realize the goal of modern agriculture.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's all for today TTV News. Thank you for watching and see you next time.